Ukraine is facing mounting pressure from the United States as it negotiates a possible deal to end the prolonged war with Russia and reduce further escalation. Germany's Bild newspaper reported on December 13 that President Donald Trump is pressuring Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to cede territory to Russia as part of a peace settlement. Bild quoted sources saying the White House is exerting intense pressure on Zelensky in order to extract territorial concessions that could unlock a broader agreement. The report added that peace negotiations have reached their most advanced stage since the conflict began, raising hopes of a potential breakthrough. According to reports, Christmas has been informally set as a deadline for finalizing the contours of a possible peace deal. Zelensky has conceded that Ukraine may consider holding a national referendum on potential territorial concessions, according to Russia Today. Meanwhile, Moscow has maintained that the Donbas region is part of Russia and insists its troops will fully regain control of the territory. This comes as Russian forces continue advancing in Donbas and recently claimed to have taken control of the town of Seversk. Trump said on December 11 that apart from Zelensky himself, many Ukrainians appeared supportive of the proposed peace deal. He noted that the negotiation process is complicated because it involves dividing land in a highly sensitive and specific manner. Earlier, Trump also said Zelensky would need to act quickly and start accepting certain realities to move the process forward. Zelensky is simultaneously facing pressure from the United States to conduct presidential elections in Ukraine despite the ongoing war. Trump argued that Ukrainians deserve a democratic choice and accused Kyiv of using the war as an excuse to avoid elections. In response, Zelensky said he is prepared to hold elections once Western partners provide firm security guarantees. Bild also reported that Trump could exploit Zelensky's political weakness following a damaging corruption scandal. This comes after a $100 million corruption scandal was exposed in Ukraine's energy sector in November. Several individuals from Zelensky's inner circle have been implicated in the kickback scheme involving foreign defense aid, further intensifying political pressure.
I thought that we were very close with Russia to having a deal. I thought we were very close with Ukraine to having a deal. In fact, other than President Zelensky, his people loved the concept of the deal. You know, we threw something out.
This is the four-part deal that you...
Well, there's 4 or 5 different parts. It's, you know, a little bit complicated because you're cutting up land in a certain way. It's not the easiest thing. It's sort of like a complex real estate deal times 1,000, right? But it's a deal that would have stopped the killing of thousands of lives every month. Thousands and thousands of lives, mostly soldiers, but as you know there's some bombs being... Are you
headed to sort of a Korea-like ceasefire there where you don't resolve?
Well, there's a meeting on Saturday. We'll see whether or not we attend the meeting. We said we'll attend the meeting if we think there's a good chance of... They want me to attend. They want us to attend. And we'll be attending the meeting on Saturday in Europe if we think there's a good chance. And we don't want to waste a lot of time. We think it's negative. We want it to get settled. We want to save a lot of lives. As you know, in the past we spent could be $350 billion giving it to Ukraine. We got nothing in return, but we gave it to Ukraine. I ended up getting rare earth in return, even though I didn't spend money. And we are now selling weapons to NATO. We're not selling it to Ukraine. We're selling weapons at full price to NATO, as you know. They distribute those weapons probably to Ukraine for the most part. They're probably doing it to others also. But we're not involved in the war other than the fact that we are involved in a negotiation because people want us there. Ukraine wants us involved very much. Europe wants us involved. I have a great relationship with the countries of Europe. As you know, I took GDP. I took what they're spending as a percentage of GDP, but it was at 2 and they weren't paying, and now it's at 5, and everybody's amazed. But that 5% is, a lot of it's coming back to the United States. With that being said, I'd like to see the killing stop. 25,000 people died last month, soldiers, mostly soldiers, but some people also where bombs were dropped. But for the most part, 25,000 soldiers died last month. I would love to see it stop. And we're working very hard. It doesn't really affect the United States unless it got out of control. You know, a thing like that, as you probably know, because you are a professional, a real professional, which is something I don't say about a lot of other people, but you are a great professional. Things like this end up in third world wars. And I told that the other day. I said, everybody keeps playing games like this. You'll end up in a third world war. And we don't want to see that happen.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.